So I found this while I was browsing social media. A server leaving a note like this, I actually don't find it disrespectful. A lot of you may find it disrespectful, but here's why I don't find it disrespectful. Also, this is coming from someone that's never worked in the restaurant business, by the way. My family does own a restaurant, but I've never personally worked or participated, right? Tipping is now, especially in the US, this is I not especially in the specifically in the US, tipping is now tied to a percentage, not effort. So this is a $570 bill. Um, Say the average tip is about 18 to 20%. Yeah, that's you should be paying like putting at least $115 on that, right? Now that's logically speaking, knowing that tipping is tied to percentages, right? Not effort. Now, do I believe that should be the case is a different story. No, I believe that restaurants should pay their workers a fair wage and people should learn to tip if they want to. I spent a decent amount of time in Japan. I just came back from Costa Rica the other day. Tips are disrespectful in those countries, right? Oh no, no, no! You don't like. I've asked like, hey, am I allowed to give you a tip? No, 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 no. Not allowed to do that here, right? And the reason I ask is because I'm not sure about the culture. So before I go and do what I perceive to be a good service, let me inquire, right? Now I know in the U.S. restaurants don't pay their workers enough, so a lot of them make their money through tips. Hey, I can't pay my rent unless I get tipped enough. So if you're at a large table, yes, a waiter is going to have the expectation, oh, I'm going to make some money today, right? Now, whether or not you believe that should be the case is irrelevant, right? Because like I said before, I don't think it should be the case. But the reality is we live in a world, at least we live in a country where we're expected to tip at least 18%. Maybe you can go as low as 15, but that's why people will come online and argue, oh, if you can't tip your waiters properly, don't be going out to eat. I think this will be fixed if restaurants learn to pay their people properly. But again, that's my opinion. There's a whole conversation that could be had about that. But how do I feel personally about seeing this? I think it's fair. Now that person, I also think if it was me, I would be grateful I made $60. But I don't know, right? Everyone's different. But I do know the expectations is, yes, if I'm at a table and I see my bill, I will literally be like, oh, what's 20% of that? That's what I'm gonna give them as tip. Because that's that's the culture in our economy. Right? You want to tip about 20% on average. Now I've also been the guy where when I've had it, if I order a $30 meal, I'll tip $30. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I've had it. And I know I didn't order an expensive meal. I don't have it where if I order a $500 meal, I'm going to tip $500. Maybe one day. Maybe one day, but I don't have it today. You know what I mean? But if there's me and my peoples and we order a $500 meal based on the culture that we live in, yeah, I would be like, what's 20% of that? And give at least that. If I could give more, if the service was phenomenal, I might give 25, 30%. Might be like, oh, I really like our waiter today, guys. Can we give a little more? Can we throw an extra 30 or 40 in there or something, whatever we got? And I'd be like, yeah, I agree with you. Right? And that's a conversation I have with my peoples if we go out to eat together. If I got it by myself, I still do it if I could afford it. So the reality of it is we shouldn't really feel a type of way about seeing these things until the system is fixed where these people, and by people, I mean restaurant workers, just for those of y'all who are thinking about it, where restaurant workers don't have to worry about paying their bills without tips. Until we change that system, you see something like this, you should probably feel bad about not tipping enough if you just spent almost $600 on a meal. Just saying.